So once again, that debunks the comment of the guy that sent me the message basically saying that Roberto Duran's opponents were on a far different level than Floyd Mayweather. Now, all of the recording that you guys just heard, that was actually a recording that I did about 2 weeks ago prior to the Mayweather-Canelo fight. I didn't upload this video because I was planning on adding extra content to it. I wanted to read some more comments, but I'm probably not going to do that now. I'm just going to continue to break down Floyd Mayweather versus Roberto Duran and how Duran would have possibly done against Floyd Mayweather's opponents and Floyd Mayweather himself. Speaking of how Duran would have done against Floyd Mayweather, prior to the Mayweather-Canelo fight that we just watched, because I like to study a lot of shit before I make my opinion, I revisited watching a lot of Duran fights before I did this video that I'm doing right now. The whole last 2 weeks building up to the Mayweather-Canelo fight, I had been watching a lot of fights in particular. I was watching the Mayweather-Guerrero fight, and I was watching a lot of Duran's fights, a lot of his major fights. I was watching Duran versus Benitez, versus Hearns, Hagler, Leonard, and I watched all those fights just to get a little bit more of an insight, from what I've already known, but I wanted to get even more of an insight before I released this video, okay? And what I realized by watching the Benitez fight is, a lot of us, because of Sugar Ray Leonard's flashiness and the fact that he was the biggest star, he was pound for pound the best fighter, he was an American fighter, and et cetera, I think all of us, including myself, we've always compared Floyd Mayweather to Sugar Ray Leonard, especially when it comes to possibly fighting someone like a Roberto Duran, right? I mean, we've always envisioned, well, if Sugar Ray Leonard did this to Duran, then what will Floyd Mayweather do, et cetera. But now, and after watching the Wilfredo Benitez fight against Duran and looking at the Sugar Ray Leonard fight against Duran, I noticed the way Sugar Ray Leonard fought Roberto Duran is nowhere near the way Floyd would fight Duran. Floyd Mayweather would have fought Duran basically the exact same way that Benitez fought Duran, okay? See, the way Sugar Ray Leonard dominated Duran and fought him in a rematch is virtually the exact same way that Oscar De La Hoya fought Tito Trinidad. See, their main strategy against a bigger, stronger opponent was foot movement, right? And it wasn't just subtle foot movement like the way Floyd Mayweather does it, just little small movements. No, it was full circular foot movement, constantly moving around the ring, constantly circling back this way, back the other way, circling. And once your opponent tries to attack, you throw a flurry. And then you go back to circling. See, that's not the way Floyd Mayweather fights. See, Floyd Mayweather fights very similar to the way Wilfredo Benitez fought. And don't get it twisted. I'm not saying they're the same fighters. I'm just saying going up against Duran, the way Mayweather fights today is very similar to the way he would have fought a Duran. Floyd Mayweather doesn't use a lot of foot movement. He doesn't just rely on moving around the ring, all night. Floyd will move for maybe a quick second, but then he'll set you up, and then he'll also lead. When Floyd Mayweather is moving around the ring, he's still getting off first most of the time, right? Like when Canelo Alvarez was chasing Floyd Mayweather, it was Floyd Mayweather that was getting off the jabs first. It was Floyd Mayweather that was getting off a lot of the lead right hands first. But for the most part, Floyd Mayweather is standing right in front of you. Okay, if you watch all 45 of Floyd Mayweather's fights, 90% of the time, Floyd Mayweather, he's standing right in front of you in the center of the ring. And that's how Benitez easily outclassed Duran. Benitez, when I was watching that fight about a week ago, it reminded me a lot of, Floyd Mayweather fighting against Duran, because Benitez, he's standing right in front of Duran, but he's doing it with this calm, composed look. He looks so relaxed. This man is standing in front of Mr. AKA Hands of Stone, if you look at Benitez's face, it looked like he getting a massage. This is how relaxed the man looks. And that reminds me of Floyd Mayweather, because Floyd Mayweather, he always looks relaxed. He doesn't give a damn if you're 20 pounds bigger than him, 13, 12 years younger than him. He doesn't care. He always looks relaxed. This is just another motherfucking barbecue, at the park for Floyd Mayweather. And that's how it looked with Wilfredo Benitez. Okay? Benitez, he was catching Duran with a lot of lead right hands, a lot of hooks to the body, standing right in front of Duran. And Duran, like I said, with Duran being the type of wrestler, holder, mauler, a lot of times, just like Floyd Mayweather, Benitez, he would just put his back on the ropes, and Benitez would still eat Duran up with his back against the ropes, right? That's Floyd Mayweather. That's Floyd Mayweather. I could lay on the ropes and I'm gonna be comfortable. I could get in the center of the ring and I'll be comfortable. Every now and then I'll back you up to the ropes and I'll still be comfortable. Okay? So, like I said, man, you're comparing Duran to Floyd Mayweather. It's really no contest, because if Wilfredo Benitez can do that to Duran, imagine what Floyd Mayweather can do. I mean, just be serious. Like I said, guys, it is very, very difficult, and I'm going to say this a couple times, because I'm going to do a little series where I'm going to break down all of these fighters one by one. I think I'm going to do Ali next, but what I want you guys to understand is, if we are going to seriously have this conversation, you have to try, before we even start talking about this, you have to remove those words like legendary, greatest of all time, etc., etc. Because we as boxing fans are all programmed, we were all raised, every time we hear names like Hearns, Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, Ali, the first thing you think of is one of the greatest of all time. I mean, I think, a lot of us, especially video game players and stuff like that, people who didn't even know Duran, only thing they knew is that he was on a video game called Legendary Boxers, or whatever the game is, and that's instilled in your brain. So sometimes when you hear someone trying to break down, a fighter of today to a fighter of yesteryear, you don't even think about who they fought, how they looked against that person, and how their defense was, how their offense was, what type of training regimen that they have, what type of flaws that they have, what type of advantages that they have. You're not even looking at that. You're just looking at that one word, GOAT. You're looking at that one word, legend, right? And you're saying to yourself, how can this guy compete with that guy? That guy is a legend already, right? So you can't realistically have a conversation if that's the only way you're looking at it. And like I said, when I'm comparing someone like Floyd Mayweather or whoever else I may compare in the future to one of the, AKA greatest fighters of all times, I'm already aware that when some of these casual fans hear me break down one of their favorite Hall of Fame fighters, break them down to a T scientifically, and criticize them, I'm aware some people are going to get their feelings hurt, right? And I know whenever, we all know this on YouTube, whenever you say something negative about any Latino fighter, that's when you're going to really get the motherfucking pores of crying and boo-hooing, right? You're going to get that more than anything when you talk about a Latino fighter. It doesn't matter if that Latino fighter is a straight up fucking bum or a quitter like Victor Ortiz. You're going to get the messages, how dare you talk about my Ortiz? How dare you talk about Mars getting knocked out in the first round, etc., etc., etc. But I'm here to let you guys know that over here at Dante's Boxing Nation, I don't give a fuck. All right? Word to Chris Tucker. That's why I'm making a second motherfucking video to hit you motherfuckers even harder when you cry. I told you I'm getting paid for these motherfucking videos. So you need a goddamn shoulder to cry on, you come to my video, you cry all you want. And I'm gonna get paid for the shit. Okay? Shit. Even if I wasn't getting paid, I would still be hitting you motherfuckers with the whole truth and nothing but the damn truth. So anyway, let me get back to the damn subject before I forget what the hell I'm talking about. So yeah, man, there was another person who sent me a message, and I wanted to read his comment, but right now I'm not next to the message, and basically I just want to tell you what the gist of the message was. He made a very good point. He said, imagine if Floyd Mayweather were to quit in the biggest fight of his career, how he would be perceived by the public, right? So, and no matter who Floyd Mayweather, and by the way, that's all he said, but no matter, I'm going to elaborate on what he just said because it was a good point. No matter what Floyd Mayweather would do in the future, if Floyd Mayweather were to, let's say he quit against Oscar De La Hoya, he quit against Shane Mosley, Diego Corrales, whoever it is, right? Imagine how he would be perceived by the public, right? So however he would be perceived, that is the exact same way Roberto Duran should be perceived, right? Roberto Duran, no doubt about it, is a great fighter. And he did have some good wins. He came back later on in his career. He beat Barkley. He beat David Moore. But like I said, when that pole was raised to the highest level, he couldn't jump over it, right? And that's something that we all have to look at. That's something that Floyd Mayweather has been able to do his entire career, all right? I've already broke down how Floyd Mayweather's opponents would look against Duran. There is no fucking way you could sit over here and tell me that Roberto Duran's opponents was so far more superior, because you cannot sit here and tell me that Duran would have just beat the shit out of every single, fighter that Floyd Mayweather faced, right? And vice versa. You can't even, I'm not going to sit here and say Floyd Mayweather would have been able to just easily walk through, Hagler, Hearns, and all of them, right? But don't worry, like I said, I'm going to break all that shit down later on. The point that I'm making is you cannot argue that Duran's opponents were so far better, because we already know that he probably wouldn't have even beat them all. Also, before I end this video, I think it's very important to address the fact that a lot of people sent me messages on my previous video about Duran and Mayweather, talking about Duran's personality, how he was so disrespectful, how he was so rude, how he was such a sore loser. And, to that, I ask everyone who claims that they hate Floyd Mayweather, can't stand him, but yet they will defend this man. I mean, when you think about Floyd Mayweather, he'll talk shit, to hype up a fight, and then after the fight, it's all hugs. I mean, we've seen Floyd Mayweather constantly trying to touch hands, touch gloves with Canelo Alvarez. He always embraces his opponent after the fight is over. What did Duran do after the Sugar Ray Leonard first fight? As Sugar Ray Leonard is walking around the ring as the fight is over with, Duran, he pushes this motherfucker from the back, right? He ain't nothing but a fucking thug, sore loser. And I'm going to tell you Duran fans right now, like I said once again, I don't give a fuck how much you cry. I'm going to tell you the truth. That's all he is. Roberto Duran is a good fighter, but that motherfucker, he couldn't hold Floyd Mayweather's jockstrap. He would get annihilated against Floyd Mayweather.